Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Micro Investor, where we do technical analysis, price predictions, and news updates on many different stocks and cryptocurrencies every single day. Now, in this video, we're going to be talking about Meta Platform stock, ticker symbol META, and of course, this was formerly known as Facebook stock. Now, what we're looking at here is on the chart for Meta Platforms is that this stock has been beat up quite significantly throughout 2022. The 52-week range for Meta stock is between $352 and $88. So right now, we're still closer to the lower end with Meta stock currently at around $114 at the time that I'm making this right now. So that's a significant drop within the price. Now, nothing that I am talking about here is any sort of financial advice. This is just my own personal opinions. So I do take that into consideration, but I'm always welcome to hear you guys' opinions in the comment section. And that's what we're about. We're about a community here. So let's dive into this right now. So as we get started, if you don't mind, also, please do me a huge favor. Please be sure to smash, destroy, annihilate, or just gently press that like button. Helps me out with the algorithm, helps spread the content to more people in my financing, and push that bell notification if you have not already. Let's get to this. So currently, Meta's market cap is $302 billion. Now, if you look over at what CNN Business is saying, looking at their stock price forecast, this is based off of Fortnite analysts offering a 12-month price forecast for Meta Platforms. They have a median price target of $145 and a high estimate of $250 and a low estimate of $80. So right now, the stock price at $113. It's still more so towards the lower level, but still, if we're going off of the median, then there still is a decent amount of gain to be made here based off what the analysts are saying. Now let's look at Meta's report for the third quarter of 2022. And this is the quarter that had ended on September 30th. Now, what we have here is the revenues were a little bit less, 4% less, I should say, with revenues of $27.7 billion. These are in the millions, by the way. And the same quarter of the previous year, we're at $29 billion. Costs and expenses have gone up. The most recent quarter release was $22 billion. And the previous year, it was $18.58 billion. So a difference of 19% there. Now, let's just go to some more interesting details here. The net income. The net income was reduced in half, a little bit more than half, where in 2021, their net income was $9.2 billion. And in 2022, for the third quarter, it was about $4.4 billion. So cut in half. That's crazy to think about. Now, Meta did end the quarter with a pretty decent amount of cash on hand. Their cash and cash equivalents, $14.3 billion. And that was a number that was a little bit less than it was at the end of December 31st, 2021. But a lot of this is actually due to the fact that they had actually purchased more shares. They did some share buyback, by the way. They had purchased $6.55 billion of the Class A common stock in the third quarter of 2022. So Meta breaks down their revenue in two categories. They have family of apps, which is made up of advertising and other revenue. And then they have their Reality Labs, which is where things are a bit ugly. So as far as the family of apps, which is mostly all advertising, makes up $27.4 billion in revenue. And then their Reality Labs makes up $285 million, which is, I'm assuming, all related to the Meta headset and the development within that. So that equals out to a total revenue of $27.7 billion. And then when we look at how the expenses here are within the family of apps, so advertising and other revenue, the expenses there are $9.33 billion. And then as far as the Reality Labs go, so the Meta headset, the expenses there are $3.67 billion. And of course, that is in the way negative because they had only made revenues of $285 million and they had spent nearly $3.7 billion on that. So that gives them a total income from operations of $5.66 billion, which is nearly half of what it was the same quarter of the previous year. Now, looking at Meta stock here at $114 and comparing to that where it was back in September of 2021, where the stock was about $380 at the high there. So that's a significant drop within the price. Now, some people are making some wild claims here on YouTube. I've seen videos where they're saying that Meta could be a possible 10Xer, a 10X stock, which I think is a bit wild of a prediction to be making. I think that if we were to look at Meta stock and look at the current price right now, and look at where it was at some previous prices back in history, you can see that Meta stock was the same price back in April of 2016. So seeing that just over the last 7 years, Meta stock has not managed to really make any gains in that comparison. Of course, the revenues are up probably now from where they were back then, but to say it could be a 10X stock is a way too far-fetched. I would say that within the next 5 years, we could be seeing Meta possibly 2X or even 3X if we were to go back and retrace where we were. But it is going to be a long time to see such a thing happen. And I would say even over the next 10 years, I would say Meta probably still will not be able to 10X itself, because there's going to be continued competition within what they're doing. Their expenses are going to have to continue growing and to grow in that industry that they're trying to dominate right now. And they have big players like Apple, Google, Microsoft, all within this field. I should also say Sony as well. So there is a lot of competition with this, and who knows where Meta is going to come ahead. So if they were to go back to just being what they were before, and not spending so much money on the Meta headset, but maybe let other developers develop within that, then they probably would have a better chance of seeing this stock perform a bit better over the next 5 years. But I think it still has a long ways to go before we start to really see much gains, because if 2020 showed us anything, it is that that we saw a lot of growth in Meta stock, just to the fact that so many people were home, so many advertisers were throwing money into Meta because of the stimulus and things like that, and that's what really helped drive the stock price up to where it was. So with all that stuff now removed, and their heavy expenses into the VR headset and stuff, then I think that we just have a long ways to go, a long road ahead of us for Meta stock to really see those gains. So personally, I would say if you're looking for a 2X gain over the next 2 years, then there might be potential. But anything more than that, I would say use caution with that. But I think it could be a great stock in the long term. But you have to have that long-term plan with Meta stock. And a 2X gain over 2 years is a significant increase, but we'd have to see how that would all play out. So anyways, I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions about Meta stock. Do you guys think that there's still a lot of potential, or do you guys think that there might be a little bit more bleeding to come, because we do have another earnings coming up? The fourth quarter earnings that are ending this month in December, they come out on February 1st, 2023, and there could be potential there to see some better profits, but it's all waiting to be seen. With that being said, please like, share, comment, subscribe. New content coming out all the time. I'll see you all in the next one coming very soon. Thank you for watching and listening.